Wicked. Oh my god, I just watched Wicked. Holy moly, I have so many things to say about that movie. It was great. Like, it was by far one of the best musicals I've ever seen. When I got home, I was checking some other, like, what others think about the movie. And I was, like, shocked to see that so many people thought it was long. I enjoyed my way from the very beginning to the very end. It was, I think, the best pacing I've ever seen in a movie. I didn't notice at all that it was 3 hours long, or almost 3 hours long. It started so much slow. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It was just, slow, like getting the groundwork up. A lot of great musicals, a lot of great scores. And as the story advanced, obviously spoilers. As we got later to the story, more and more action scenes happen, and like the last 30 minutes or something, ton of action scenes. It's like, there was like a good 10 to 20 minutes when there was not a single song, just action, 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 action. I was glued to my seat. I was just watching. I was watching in IMAX, so that also probably helped the whole experience. But I was just like glued to my seat. I was watching, I was like, holy shit, it is so good. The last scene with the last song is just like, holy, I'm crying just thinking about it. I think like the dynamics are just so good. So if people think this is a long movie or like they were bored or something, maybe they're TikTok brained. I don't know. I cannot fathom how any of them would think this is a long movie. Maybe they just don't like musicals. Like, probably they just don't know they don't like musicals, or they don't want to be that person who just like, I don't like musicals. Maybe because they just like looked at it as a job, and they were like, oh, now I have a job of watching this 3-hour movie instead of like watching, I don't know, like a 1.5 hour. I don't even, Marvel movies aren't even that short either anymore. Whenever like one of those like red one, or I don't know how long that is. Maybe that's also long. Another thing that I've seen some people brought up is the part 1. Like, this is just part 1. I mean, I knew it already. I was told this is only part 1, so just getting ready for that. There wasn't like super many mentions of that in the trailers. That is like the only fair criticism I can give. I don't have an issue with parted movies, by the way. I had a little bit of a controversial take as well about this. Personally, I like this. I love this. You know what's weird? This has been a thing beforehand, obviously, with all the books, Harry Potter's, Lord of the Rings. Those are the super big ones. Even before those probably has been parted stuff. So that definitely has been a thing. I don't know, it just used to feel like even when you have multiple movies in a franchise, each movie was like its own contained part. Like, maybe it's because I was a child when Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings came out, but I don't know. I just never felt like those were, parted movies. There was just like sequels to sequels to sequels. The first movie that I really felt like was a parted movie was probably Endgame, or like not Endgame but Infinity Wars, and Endgame was the last part. Even that one was feeling like a little, just like left you want more rather than like a parted movie. And when I was small, by the way, I actually had this little idea that I would love if there were longer movies, because sometimes I feel like there's a story that needs at least 5 hours, but I want to watch them in cinemas. I don't want them to be series. I want to watch them in cinema. So I was like, what if there was like a 5-hour long movie with a break in the middle? Because let's be honest, like, you don't want to just sit there for 5 hours, you want to go to the toilet maybe in the break. Just like theater, when there is a toilet break in the middle. Why don't they just do it? I mean, obviously why don't, because 3-hour long movies are already pretty expensive. Now imagine if it was 6-hour long, that's twice the budget, and they can just release the first part in one batch, get a lot of money, and then release the second one as well. So I guess why they don't do it. I just had this idea how amazing it would be. People could also just, in the break, go out, buy new drinks. That would be a bunch of revenue for the cinemas. But I understand, like, the economics of it doesn't really work, so I was like, that's fine. The second best thing is the parted movies. I am all for them. Maybe just because I don't watch that many movies. Like, if a movie is bad, I'm not gonna watch it. So the recent parted movies I've seen were, as I said before, Infinity War and Endgame. More recent ones like the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't know, but I really like it. I think that's a great concept. And now Wicked as well. Same as with Spider-Man, actually. Both of them, and to a degree, Infinity Wars too. I feel like they left like you with a cliffhanger, but not like in a traditional sense cliffhanger, Basically, when you have a parted movie, you can allow yourself to have the climax at the end of the movie and leave it at the climax, which is, I think, insane. Usually, when you have like a whole movie, you kind of want to have the climax at around 2/3. However, I just feel like having the climax be the very end credits roll, that is just special. I don't know, it just fills me with such a special feeling. Same that I felt with Spider-Man. I was like, oh. Same what I felt with Wicked. Lost scene, I was crying. I was like, holy, oh my god. So this feeling is really good, and I really enjoy this feeling. And I understand that it's kind of like cliffhanger. You kind of just like wish there was more. Kind of you wish you could watch the other part the next day. I went in knowing that it's gonna end on probably like one of these like climax moments. And yeah, that's why I just like parted movies, I think. Kind of the second best to my old idea with like long movies with a break. Maybe once every single studio is gonna do this, there are gonna be more slops. I mean, there are downsides 100%. I'm just saying I'm welcoming some change, you know? I don't want every single movie to be parted, just, you know, putting it out here. Hot take, I think it's good that there are 2-hour confined movies as well. I really wish there was like a time already, like put out. For example, hey, this is part 1, part 2 comes out in like 6 months or maybe a year. I wish it was working like this, but I understand studios are not gonna sit on a movie because they're just gonna make that money. So I know I'm not gonna get the perfect world. However, I still like this concept. This is my hottest movie take. Okay, so what are we doing? Oh yeah, we're playing Gacha. There you go. Yeah!